Welcome everybody to WAN, or the Weekly Apple News. I'm your host Mark Paris, and this week we'll be talking about IP-podcast, WAN, and what both of those are. So what is IP Podcast? Well, it is the company that kind of owns the podcast that we're going to be doing. And the first one we're starting off with is WAN, or the Weekly Apple News. We may have future podcasts, but right now this is one we're just starting off with. So we're going back to IP Podcast. So this is going to be like the partner company of Apple Tech 128, affiliate IP, and IP-software. So it's going to be kind of like IP-software and affiliate IP, where it's going to be partnered with Apple Tech 128. So this is just going to be the podcasting for Apple Tech 128. So what is WAN, or the Weekly Apple News? Well, what this is we go over everything that's happened in the world of Apple this week so far. Weekly Apple News. So it's not just going to be all the news, it's going to be what we write on Apple Tech 128, the news section. So it's going to be almost everything. It's going to be a shorter version of it, and it could be some things we include, like little snippets, maybe like a tip. We're not really sure. We'll just see how it plays out. But it's just going to be going over everything that happened that week of Apple. So when is this going to be? Well, a new episode will air every Sunday, and it's going to be recorded every Saturday. So if something news happens Saturday night, it probably won't end up on the Weekly Apple News. So it's going to be recorded Saturday, aired Sunday. So right now, we're trying to figure out how we're going to do this, how we're going to upload it. There's Mixcloud. We might upload it to there. We could upload it to YouTube, do both. Whatever. And so wherever you're listening to it right now, that's probably our decision that we made. We'll probably end up putting it to YouTube and connecting an RSS feed to a WordPress site for IP Podcast, because we need that RSS feed to be able to use it in iTunes. So that's right, we can use this in iTunes, and once we publish this, we're going to get an RSS feed, and we will have it in iTunes so you guys can listen to it there. And the way we're going to have this work for you reading more about the articles is we'll have some show notes with all of the links to every single thing we talked about in that episode, and we'll just say head on over to ippodcast.wordpress.com, look for WAN. That episode will be there with all the show notes and everything, and you can look at the links, read more about those articles. So, how long will these be? Well, right now we're thinking, depending on the news, if there's not much that week, it might be shorter. If Apple has a media event or WWDC, it might be longer. So we're going to shoot for maybe around 15-20 minutes. If there's a lot of news, maybe 30. We're not going to take up a lot of your time like big podcasts are and normal podcasts. This is going to be like a quick, brief thing about everything that happened in the Apple world. And if you want to learn more, just head on over to that site and you can read more on those articles. So it's going to be about 15-20 minutes. And that's our plans. It may change later on, but that's just what we're going to do for now. So anyway, thanks so much for listening. And if you have any comments, be sure to leave them in the comment section, wherever those are, because we don't really know where we're going to post this yet. And be sure to watch and so you can subscribe on iTunes.